Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? And welcome to Weekend Wagers here on a beautiful Friday. We try to give you your 12 pack of plays for the entire weekend. Now, that is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then sometimes we'll hit you with one on a Monday, but we try to spread it out through the weekend. So, one, you can come back to this. So, if you do miss it on a Friday, come back on Saturday because I promise you there'll be plenty of plays that'll carry you through the weekend. But we've been doing this for a little bit over on Spaces. We thought it was a good chance to bring this over into a video form, but also kind of spice it up a little bit, give the guys a little bit of a practice on video. But also, we thought with the crew, it was a good chance to continue the interaction. We will interact as much as we can. So we're going to give you our plays. But as you know, I run all my Grizzly shows. We try to make sure we interact with the chat as much as possible. But we have a jam-packed show starting tonight with baseball, as well as football. Then we go into Saturday and it's all football there. And then we're going to go carry it over into Sunday when there's even more in the association. So we're going to have a fun day. So make sure you buckle up and get ready. But we're going to bring in our guys. And we have with us today, Robbie and Mark. What's up, boys? What's up, Robbie?
What's going on, DG? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Mark, how are you, man?
Hey, look, I'm just so happy to be here.
I love it. I love it. All right, so everybody's in here. The Crulies drink a 12-pack tonight. All right, so our 12-pack of plays, we'll get into those, but we don't want to wait around too much. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. We already have our plays, and so Mark, if you don't mind, if you'll start us off, sir.
Absolutely. I'm going with tonight. We're going to go to Chicago, and the Predators are taking on the Blackhawks. I'm taking goalie Peter Mesrick under 30.5 saves at -120. The deal with this is easy. It's Nationals trying to get their season going again, and I'm sure Robbie can tell you. And I just like for them to get a win here in Chicago. I just don't see Chicago's goalie Mesrick getting over 31 saves. The Blackhawks are only allowing 24.7 shots a game when they're at home, which is fifth best in the NHL. It's the one thing that they do well. And the Predators are taking a lot of shots per game. In fact, they're the top shot-taking team in the NHL right now. But Mesrick also has a lofty 4.00 goals allowed average on the season. And, in his last two home games, he's faced a total of 52 shots, and he's only amassed 44 saves. His goalkeeping needs help, but he doesn't get over this line.
All right. I have a problem with your first play. First play of Weekend Wagers. You brought an under?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I don't understand it, Mark. I'm disappointed more in you than myself because I thought I knew you better than that, but I guess it's.
I do have an over for my next one, so let's hold on.
No. Are you so you are on Friday, so let's go ahead and go back to the over. We're going back to baseball here, so give us your baseball player on Friday.
Yeah, I'm going with Dodgers pitcher Jack Flaherty over 15.5 pitches in the top of the first. I just think, look, the World Series, it is the ultimate stage for Major League Baseball. The nerves are there. Everybody's tense. Everybody's tight. Everybody knows what's at stake, especially in a game one. I think that Flattery's had a week of not pitching in between his last start and tonight. It's a lot of time to think about tonight's start. In addition, they're doing the Fernando Valenzuela tribute tonight. And with all the emotion, all the nerves, all the anxiety, it's going to take a couple of batters for things to kind of settle down and get in. And quite frankly, the New York Yankees are one of the most patient teams at the plate, especially Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, who are right now averaging 6.7, identically, by the way, 6.7 pitches per at bat in the first inning for this postseason.
All right. I like your plays. If anybody doesn't know about the pitches, that is you gave it to us here, but it is in the looks like it's in the top of the first. So that's important. A lot of people that might not know the top of the first, if you're seeing that, sometimes you can get confused because I get it. Like, obviously the home team, their pitcher is going to go out first. That's why it's the top of the first. It doesn't matter about home or away. So make sure you're paying attention to that. real quick, before we get too far along into our Friday plays, I'm going to go ahead and look at, I know Dan Clark's already giving out a play of his. It looks like he's going over Jordan Love as the passing TDs and a Packers money line. He got it at minus 105. It is obviously moving. The reason I bring that to our attention is at the very end of the show, we're going to do a segment called Choose Your Fighter. And what we do on this show is we let you give us a play. And then we're going to put two guys up against each other, or girls, guys or girls, that have their play. And they're going to give us the plays. And whichever one hits with the best return. So if one is minus 110, if one is plus 100, the one that gives the best return, which would be the plus 100, you move on to the next week. And so we already have a defending champion so far in Boom Boom, who people know. We have that. We're going to bring him over from Twitter. And so he's already the defending champion. That's Robbie's guy. So today, put the plays in here. Mark will be picking out his fighter at the very end of the show. So
bring me a winner.
Yeah, he's picking out a winner. Is what he's doing. So put a play in there. Make sure you put the odds. One play per comment. You can give as many plays as you want, but one play per comment. That way we can throw it up here. And so as you're looking up here for Japan, he's already throwing his in there. Shakir over 40.5 receiving yards at minus 114. That's the way to do it. So Mark will be looking through here today at the very end of the show. We'll get to it. But I want to go ahead and go to my play next. And it's going to be going to the NBA. And it's going to be Santi Aldama. I gave this early on the morning show. It was the 10-plus points. Well, I want to save this one because it had a little bit more flavor to it. And I'm going to go with the over 1.5 3-pointers at plus 115. It's very simple for me. He had 5 3-pointers in the last game versus Utah. But the biggest thing about it is he is a Spanish player, excels in FIBA and the Olympic Games. The Grizzlies just brought in a new European-style offense. It does have more of a flow to it. The ball moves around a lot more, but also he's a catch-and-shoot guy, and he's also a guy that lives in the dunker spot. And so he's going to excel with the points, but I think he hits at least 2 3-pointers against a stingy team in the Houston Rockets with the 3-pointer. So I still like it. I even like it when it's got plus money. So, all right, that's enough about my play. Robbie, let's go to your play. I know you have a Friday play. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so we're going to the World Series as well. And look, man, I'm going to the guys who's literally paid bills for me this year. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, 1+ hits is at minus 105. It's the big stage. It's the big players. They got to show up and show out. I think they will. I know it's Juan Soto's birthday. I don't care. These two guys have made me money all year, so I'm going to ride with them both just to get a hit in this game.
All right, I like it. And you have another hockey play. So you have your so you are both going double it up on a Friday. I like it. Give us your hockey play.
Yeah, like Mark mentioned, the Preds have started off slow, which is to be expected. They usually do that every year, and then about the middle of the season, they pick it up. But tonight, we're going with the Gustav Nyquist. He goes by Gus. That's what the announcers call him. Going with him with 1+ point at minus 125. Look, he's been on that first line. He's still playing well. He kind of has a slow start, but against Chicago, he has 11 points in 8 games versus the Blackhawks. 4 of those games were actually multi-point performances. So I'm looking at that. Also, if you want to go big and sprinkle in his anytime goal scorer, it's at plus 340. He has 6 goals in 8 games versus Chicago.
All right. I like that. And I do have a chat here. TJ says your mic is a little loud. I don't hear it. But if it is, give us a confirm that, and we'll make sure we get Robbie's mic turned down. But I appreciate that, TJ.
Yeah, thanks,
all right.
TJ.
So those are that's 5 plays for Friday. If you're looking at everything so far, that's 5 plays for Friday, but we do have a full 12-pack of plays for you. And I see, look, all these plays are absolutely coming in. Like, what are we doing? This is glorious. And so Mark has a tough job, just so we're unaware. But if you are the defending champion for 3 weeks in a row, so 3 shows in a row, 3 weeks in a row, all you have to do is defend your championship. You get 3-month subscription to Justice Stat Sports, where we put up less than me, where these two guys put up a lot of plays each and every day. You'll get those. But let's go ahead and continue it on. Mark, what you got?
Just real quick, what was Preston's line at? What was
minus 110.
Was that minus 110?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Oh, so you're already getting ready to try to see if you can get a minus 109, and I got it. Hey, listen,
I'm gonna snipe him.
Play the game. I'm not hating the player right now. All right, Marco, let's go back to you. I know you got one Saturday play right here.
Absolutely. Look, this game is huge. Notre Dame playing Navy at MetLife Stadium down in New Jersey. I'm taking the over 10.5 points in the first quarter at -110. Navy is number 3 in the country when it comes to scoring points in the first quarter. It is absolutely, they hung up 24 last week. Now I get, the competition probably wasn't the same caliber as Notre Dame is going to bring. But Notre Dame is number 30 in the country, and they're averaging 7.4 points in the first quarter, whereas Navy's averaging 12.2. I love this. I think it's going to be an explosive match. It's Navy's first chance to really get on the national stage and prove that they belong there. And I'm looking forward to a explosive first quarter.
Yeah, the first quarter for Navy has looked really good. I'm just curious about the Notre Dame defense and that hook. That's the only thing that worried me about that. Why do you like it? Because obviously, if this is 10.5, 11.5, 12.5, it's fairly the same play in a sense, just because you probably need 2 touchdowns, if not a touchdown and 2 field goals, right? So it either gets you there. You can escape with a win with an easy, like maybe a safety or something crazy that might happen, or a 2-point conversion somewhere along the way. But why are you okay with this? Because that is a lot of points from these teams, even though they have played well for sure in the past.
Yeah, and I think defensively, both teams are solid defensively. I don't think Notre Dame has seen an offense that is as explosive as Navy's is. And it's going to take, they're going to have to make halftime adjustments without question. Okay. Right. I just think that Navy wins the first quarter and they do it. I think Navy has 10 points by themselves in the first, and Notre Dame with the field goal or a touchdown is what gets us over.
Okay. And as Zach's saying that Notre Dame gives up 4.9 in the season, which is obviously not what you want to hear, but 7 in the last 3 games, which is big if you have the first quarter points. And so Daniel loves the play. I looked at that. I also looked at the first half, and I might still play that first half line, but I didn't want to cross over too much for sure on that. So I do like that. But I'm going to go ahead and go to my play next. And when I have 2 on Saturday, and this, I'm sorry, not Saturday. My slide. I'm an idiot. Don't look at me wrong. I'm not fixing it. I'm not as good as producer, man. Midway through the show, but the Charlotte Memphis over 29.5 in the first half points. Right, that's what we're looking at. It's at -104. It's very simple for me. Like, Memphis allows 10 points in the first half. Charlotte allows 19.6 and then 25 points per game in the first half. Away games. I just think that both of these teams have good enough offenses. And I looked at the Memphis line because Charlotte gives up so many points. I looked at the Memphis line for being 21 points, and they would cash this. So it's really 21 points from Memphis and 10 from Charlotte. I don't trust Memphis that much to score 21 points. And I think that they don't have that great of a defense. And so I think that Charlotte could easily score 14-ish points in this game to help Memphis, even though I still think that they'll score their 21. And so either way we go, I felt like it was a safer play to play a total with both teams in the first half. And so that's why I'm going to go there. And so I figured, we'll have a little fun, a little local flavor from my end for sure. But all right, so that's all our Saturday plays so far. And so we have obviously a lot more to go, and we have so many that if you're looking, it's this way on the chat. It is filling up like crazy, and I love it. So if you have anything, please share. I'm going to get to Dan's got a comment about my Kate Otten play, so make sure you look at that. But we're going to go ahead and get into Sunday. And Robbie, you haven't gone yet for Saturday, so I'm going to let you start us off on Sunday.
Yeah, so we're going DJ Moore over 56.5 reception yards. Chicago's coming off a bye, and they basically took a vacation in London after they beat the brakes off of Jacksonville. So this week they get Washington, and who would have thought that this game would be a game of the week? Both teams coming in 4-2 and 5-2 respectively. The only difference is Washington may be without Jaden Daniels. They did say he got some work in today, so it's not confirmed yet. But the last time DJ Moore played this Washington team was last year. He had 8 receptions, 230 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns in that game. And that was with Justin Fields as his quarterback. This same Washington team just gave up 61 yards to Carolina tight end Jatavian Sanders. I know none of y'all know who that is. to look him up. He had 61 on them last week. So Cole Kmet as well would be a good play in this as well. Oh, no.
Oh, are you on mute?
Oh, no.
Peachy's on mute.
I am on mute. That was my bad. Listen, I'll pay the fine. I have 2 mutes now, and I'm trying to work
today,
off of
man.
it. I know. It's been a busy day. I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say now. It was about your guy. God, I'm an idiot. I forgot what I was going to say. It was really good, though, and I'll remember next time. But you keep going with your plays. Give us your last Sunday play.
Yeah, so this one kind of hurts my heart because it's against my Cowboys, but I'm going with Brock Purdy over 18.5 rushing yards. Look, man, Brock is having to do this on his own, and he's hit this in the last 5 games. And the biggest reason is San Francisco's hurt. Debo's got pneumonia. Kittle may be banged up. Ayuk is gone. Jordan Mason's banged up. CMC, Willie not come back. And what I can see happening is Dallas's defense maybe playing the coverage a little bit better on their wide receivers and giving up those short runs for Purdy. You know, if it's like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, I could see him picking that up on his own. He's going to have to take this game over and actually prove that he's the quarterback everybody in San Francisco thinks he is. So I like him to go over 18.5 rushing yards at -110.
All right. If we're looking in the chat real quick, Dan's helping us out a little bit, doing a little shopping while we're talking. Brock Purdy, 16.5 on FanDuel is -114 is 2 yards less, a little bit more juice. Do you like that, Robbie?
No, I love that. I looked this morning and the lowest I could find was 18.5. So after the show, I'll probably actually go and put that one in.
Yeah, so it does move around a lot. I know that's a lot of times when we're putting in these plays, we're putting them a little bit early. Usually they don't move backwards, but with these lines, I know like a couple of my plays, FanDuel has not put out a couple of my plays yet, and so it just sometimes takes a little bit longer. And then like my Indiana play from this morning has already moved. It moved to 5.5. Like I don't know why. I think people don't realize that the backup quarterback for Indiana is just that good. But we're going to stay in that same game there for San Francisco and Dallas. And George Kittle just came back today to practice. And so he does have a little bit of an ankle injury, but I'm not worried about George Kittle, honestly. He's had 58 yards in 4 or 6 games this season, and all we need is 55. But also, if you're looking at this, it's National Tight Ends Day. So I don't know how that he can't play on National Tight Ends Day. So I'm going to go ahead and hitch my wagon to George Kittle. Then we're going to go up to my other one, K-Dot over 45.5 receiving yards at -115. He had 100 receiving yards last game. And now we're without Mike Evans, without Godwin. I just think that there's a chance that K-Dot can be the security blanket for our guy Baker. The last 3 games, Atlanta has allowed the tight end to go over their receiving number as well. So I think this is a big play for sure for K-Dot, and I think he's been a possession receiver for Baker, and so we're going to ride with that. So I think there's a little synergy happening right now. So Mark, give me your Sunday play.
So with Sunday, look, the Buccaneers are being disrespected. I think they have been playing lights out football. The model has them money line, ratings line, and there's so let me back up just a second. There are 3 different AI self-learning models that I use when it comes to NFL, NHL, and Major League Baseball. We use a money line against the spread or the run line or the puck line, and we use a ratings model. The Buccaneers have checked the boxes on all 3 of the models, and I think that we're getting them at plus 122. I'm all over them. I like them to win outright. I think the wrong team here is favored.
Wow, I love it. I love it. All right, so we have a lot that's going on, and a lot of our plays are kind of syncing up a little bit. But I know that you have, and I'm talking to you, Mark, that we have a lot of models and graphics that we want to kind of show a little bit. And so let's go ahead and get through some of these. And, we'll start off with some hockey because I know you're big in hockey, but you have one of the graphics there. And if anybody has any questions about, I believe we have hockey, NFL, and then some others.
I've got the NCAA player prop. And listen, if any, like you were just alluding to, DG, if anybody has any questions about anything, what the models are saying, what player prop they think, should be playing, yes or no, especially in college, for those who have it, hit me up. Let me know. I will answer all of those.
Yeah, and Rick just gave out a play here. It's obviously the tennis guru, so I know you know a lot about this. So Mark, talk a little bit about that.
I will tell you, when Rick talks, it's like E.F. Hutton. You better listen, because it is pure money. He's got what? Sophia Kenin plus 3.5 games.
Sure.
And versus the spread versus Katie Butler minus 115.
Yeah.
Look, Rick in Kansas is an automatic tail for me. It just
Rick in Kansas.
That's his other social media name, is Rick in Kansas. When he gives out a play, I just follow it. I don't care where it's being played, who the players are. It is what it is. Go.
All right, so I have kind of bad news for you. You can't take this because it's minus 115.
Oh, I'm not taking it.
So
I'm saying that personally.
I know, I'm just letting you know that you can't have that one. Like, I'm just letting you know ahead of time, you're not going to win with that one.
I could, because I don't think Preston's play is going to win.
Oh, wow. We're already talking some ish already. I love it. I love it. All right. So everybody's saying loving Rick and his tennis. So I know nothing about tennis. I just know WTA means
neither do I.
Tennis. So maybe it's a blind tail. Should we just blind tail this?
That's why everybody needs a Rick.
Right, exactly. All right, let's go through a little bit of the hockey, what you have here. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to let us know. But the 70% or higher hit rate, let's talk through it. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, actually, and this is a slide. Maybe Robbie, you would be better off talking about this, especially when it comes to player props. You are the player prop guru. This is just a stat so far this season. We're 2 weeks in. I think that it's a great idea to start looking at some trends for players who are on the rise and who've gotten a great start to the season. So we're looking at shots on goal, player prop, points, and assists. I'd be curious to know, Robbie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, this is a great list. I've actually got Brady Tkachuk and Mark Stone. If you go to justthestatsports.com, there may be a play there on both of them to grab a point tonight for plus money. But this is perfect. I use this every day along with Props.cash, who's also, we featured them a lot on our site. But yeah, this is exactly what the things I look for when I'm going to look at points, props, shots on goal. Shots on goal, I have not done a lot of, and that's just because they don't know what a shot on goal is anymore. I've seen too many stat corrections. So I just stick to the points, because points are pretty clear way to get some money. But now shots on goal, I'm still going to wait. Used to, it was, whatever, we'll give it to them, but not anymore. They're very, very sticklers on that now.
Yeah, we saw that last season, don't we? I mean, especially during the playoffs. I think during the regular season, they were a lot more lenient with shots on goal. When the postseason kicked in and it started garnering more attention from bettors, I think that they really started to, it's become very unclear what is technically a shot on goal versus what's not. And I like the points angle.
Yeah, I like facts, not opinions. I don't need somebody's opinion on if it's a shot on goal or not. I need it. I need a fact. I don't need anybody changing my stuff around.
Dan said, just like the refs, I don't know what a face mask is. It's, it's like, what is a shot? What's a face mask? We don't know. All right, let's keep it going. And look at Preston. Boom booms here. Sitting at the bar, watching Weekend Wagers, his wife's Christmas shopping. So shout out to you. Listen, hey, on vacation, always checking in. Boom boom's here. Boom boom's Weekend Wagers crew member for life. But let's go ahead and go to the NFL here. And I know we have some of the model projections, and so you obviously like the Tampa Bay Bucks, but how does the model adjust for the injuries here? Because they're giving a huge 66.7% chance to win.
Yes. So again, these models are analytics. And as I said before, we use 3 different models when we actually, suggest a winner on the site. This is just a pure data-based money line based on the last 7 years of data for a particular team. That's what this money line winner site's looking at. So, again, I look at the Miami Dolphins, who are highlighted here at a 78.36% chance to win against the Arizona Cardinals. You have to really sit down and say, okay, I like that, but what else is going on that the numbers aren't picking up? You brought up Tampa Bay with the injuries. Absolutely. I think that that's something very vital to kick in. Where things like injuries get picked up are on the ratings side, because the ratings does account for one of the data points that the ratings uses is the fantasy points data, and that's huge.
Well, I have a question on that. Have you thought about sharing that information with Soupy? I believe he might need the information about fantasy points. I'm not sure though.
So I also am in the same fantasy football league as Soupy.
Yeah, then don't tell him.
And I'll share it with him after the season.
He might need it. What's up, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm playing him this weekend, so don't give that information.
You got it. Deal.
Yeah.
We'll stay away from that. All right, so that's the model on that, but we have some player props and different things to look at from the NFL. So, what's your thoughts on? I'm sorry, this is
NCAA.
college.
So there are some states that do allow this. I know North Carolina is one of them. I was just in North Carolina and I loved it. But these are all player props that are hitting over 75% hit rate for this season. Your play on the Hoosiers. I think that Justice Ellison has been a beast this year.
Yeah.
And looking at his anytime touchdown, he's got six straight this season. He's at 86% hit rate for the season. That's a gimme.
Yeah. So you can look through these and kind of look. Obviously, you can see Cam Ward has been electric. Over 318.5 yards passing, and see through these rushing yards for I guess that's Cedric Alexander for Vanderbilt going against the Texas team. But that 35.5 isn't a huge number. So, I can't personally bet on college player props. I know Robbie can't either. But we just want to share that with you. That way you can see it. So if you have any questions on a lot of that, that's the reason we want to share a lot of this information. It's not because of any certain, hey, look at this play. We just want to share a little bit, and that way you can see it.
Yeah, and I think, Dan brought up a great point in the comments. He just said that McCord got us. So Syracuse played last night, and the play on that was at over 321. The guy has been slinging the football all season long.
Right.
Syracuse lost, my alma mater, full disclosure, but he got us to the over. And it's just one of those, it's almost like an automatic. It's almost like Ellison scoring a touchdown for Indiana. It's just going to happen.
Right. Yeah. I love Ellison for sure. Robbie, what you got? I think you look eager to talk.
I am. Yeah, it's kind of like when Mark says play Kyron Williams first team touchdown, you just smash it. I think I put 3 units on that last night. So thank you, Mark.
Speaking of Kyron Williams, let's go look at the first TD stats real quick. And so obviously we do have was it a Google sheet? Nothing fancy to it. It's just tracking a lot of the first team touchdowns. And so this is where a lot of this information probably stems from. But Mark, kind of go through this right here, because obviously the Minnesota Vikings first TD scored in every game, which is crazy to me. But what's your thoughts? Anything you want to pick out through here?
Yeah, so just looking at this chart, it gives you a great idea of which team. This is the top half of the NFL. Okay, so if you're following a team and they're not listed here, it's because they're in the bottom half of scoring the first touchdown in the game. Minnesota has been on a tear. They're at 100% for the season. They score first in every single game. To the right of that is the first touchdown for the team. So between Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson, they're each at 33%, which means it's been one or the other for 2/3 of the time. Derrick Henry has scored 57% of the time for Baltimore as the first team touchdown. So there's a difference between the first touchdown scored in the game versus the first touchdown for the team. I know BetMGM, you can actually bet the first touchdown for team. That's where this chart comes in real handy.
All right. So I know that obviously we're not looking at the Rams on here because they've already played, but we're at 100% on Kyron Williams. That's 7 games. Is that right?
7 games in a row. Yeah.
7 games in a row. And Detroit, who, if you want to play that, David Montgomery has been on fire as well. 67% on the first team touchdown. So
that's Montgomery's first team touchdown. Montgomery has scored a touchdown in every single game this season as well.
Yeah. So I like that for him. So all right, let's go back to this other slide because I know it's an NFL slide. It's for the kickers, and so we've been big on kickers as well. And so you can see Dallas being 100% hit rate for having the amount of field goals they made. And so Mark, go ahead and keep going on this one and discuss this and anything that pops out to you.
Yeah, so Japan said, the key in fantasy football is to draft a kicker in the sixth round, and which is exactly what I did. And I took Dallas's kicker, Aubrey, for this reason. Dallas is not afraid to kick a field goal from anywhere on the field. I think it was week 4 or week 5 that Aubrey actually kicked a 63-yard field goal that was called back because of a penalty. And he cleared it by such a distance that I thought they were going to go for it again. They did not. But yeah, looking at this, it gives you an idea of which kickers you can target, which is by the way, it's a very underutilized market that the books really haven't caught up to yet. I love playing kickers, over the points or the field goals made. This is pretty helpful.
Yeah, and we'll go back to this real quick, but I want to show this because Gibbs got 2 touchdowns and Montgomery didn't score a touchdown last week. So,
Last week, yes. Correct.
And so I think you said that he had scored the first team touchdown all year prior to that game.
He had scored a touchdown in every single game prior to last week.
Correct.
Montgomery got hurt last week too, so that didn't help him any.
Yeah, and he came back in eventually, but he did get hurt. And Big Cheesy talking about the first touchdown is Mason first touchdown for the Niners on Sunday, which is a good look. I just think that the Cowboys have been struggling. I think that they're going to try to make sure they give the ball to the 49ers first so they can possibly get it in the second half. So either way that flips, I think that does work for I think the 49ers, they might actually try to get the ball to try to get up on the Cowboys because then they can play their stylistic game. And so I'm curious, Robbie, any thoughts on that? I know you're a Cowboys fan as well.
Yeah, apparently Cheesy and I are going to be playing for our respective teams this weekend because there's nobody left. No, honestly, I like the Cowboys, but I'm not like a homer. So this is the only chance we have to beat the Niners because everybody is hurt, but everybody's hurt on Dallas too. So who knows? I mean, it is a toss-up game to me. I just like Brock Purdy going over his 18.5 rushing yards. That's a gimme.
Yeah, I do like that. So we've covered our full 12-pack of plays today, and so make sure you get those in. We'll show those one more time before we get out of here, but we have our favorite segment, and it is the Choose Your Fighter. I'm not going to get there just yet, but I want to give Mark a little bit more time because I want him to be able to look through and see who he might want to grab as his favorite play. But I just saw this come through, and I want to make sure we looked at it real quick. But I want to get your thoughts on it, Robbie, as Mark's sifting through just so ferociously trying to figure out how he's going to beat you. But Japan has this parlay together. It's a plus 47,500. So we're looking at Jameis Winston, 300 passing yards. He's taking over in Cleveland. And then 3+ passing touchdowns for Jameis. 90+ receiving yards for Cedric Tillman. I saw somebody on Cedric Tillman earlier. I think that was probably Japan on his receiving yards. 90+ receiving yards for David Njoku, and then Cedric Tillman and Njoku both to score. 47,500. Your thoughts, Robbie?
I think the sports books will appreciate your donation this weekend. As Raphael says. I don't hate it though. I respect the hustle, but yeah, I think you're going to be donating that one.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Let's make sure we mark this. If that bet hits, I will make sure that Just the Stat Sports gifts 5 people a free year to the site.
Wow,
that's a good return. You could probably put 10 cents on it, and it will kick back $25 at least. I would assume.
Yeah.
At least. John Eccles said earlier he was the one on the Cedric play on the receiving yards, and so obviously that's 2 people on it. We'll look at that as I dig through all my notes this week that I have to go through to look for everything. I'm drowning right now in the NBA season getting started that I have just kind of neglected most of the NFL so far. And I don't love the slate this weekend for college football. Does anybody else like or hate the slate for this weekend, Robbie?
I like the BYU and UCF. That was very interesting. They've got BYU as the underdogs in that game, and I'm
Okay.
not sure why. Because BYU 7-0, UCF just got smacked by Cincinnati last week, and my Florida Gators smacked UCF earlier this year. So they got to be bad. I don't know how they got those guys favored.
Yeah. Anything from you, Mark, on this weekend for just the college slate? Because I think NFL, it is what it is.
Yeah, just the college slate. Again, I love that Notre Dame Navy game. I'm going to be all over that. I'm also interested in the Washington Indiana game. I think that that's going to be an interesting game, probably a little bit closer than people tend to think. Missouri Alabama, I think, is going to be a good one.
Okay.
I think Missouri is sneaky kind of good, and they're catching Alabama, who has been. You don't know which team you're going to get when Alabama shows up on a Saturday. And I think that it might be a good spot for Missouri to kind of sneak, especially if they can go to Alabama and win. That changes the landscape of the SEC.
Yeah, and Zach's saying that BYU can't stop the run, and UCF can pound the ball. But he's on BYU.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that as well. That seems like a trap. I don't know. It just seems like a trap line. I may not play it, but it was interesting to see that for sure.
Yeah. A little information coming through. Is that Nicodemus?
Nicodemus.
I think it's gonna be Nicodemus. I honestly, I've never seen your name. So one, if I've never interacted with you, welcome. I see a lot of the same people I see usually on the show. So if I haven't seen it, that's on me. But Mizzou with a backup QB this weekend. And so that'll be big. They're going against, they have a big game. Who are they going against?
Alabama.
Alabama.
And I think that, even with the backup quarterback, their offense is literally a plug and play. And there's very little difference between their starter and their backup. So I find that to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be a really, really competitive. And I think Missouri has a chance to win it outright.
Okay.
Yeah. Brady Cook, I think he's the starter for Missouri. He's nothing.
Yes.
I mean, it's an easy swap out, I believe.
Yeah.
Then we have some NBA talk. Suns money line. Dan loves it. So does John loves it as well. And so that's another one. But anything from the NBA that you're looking at? Oh, before we get too far, Robbie, our teams play Saturday. So
they do.
We briefly realized that, and I think we forgot. But they play Saturday. There's no lines out yet because both of our teams, which you're an Orlando Magic fan, I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan. So let's do a little friendly wager here on the first inaugural weekend wagers, and let's a little wager back and forth. Let's put something up for the game. We don't know the line or anything. So would you be interested in going a Orlando and Memphis money line wager?
I've got to be crazy to be betting my Orlando Magic, but I've been rocking with them since Tamagotchi and Starter Jacket. So yeah, producer man, hit that music.
Well, unless you have something to sing, I have no music for you.
We'll let Mark play us out of here.
We'll go five I guess memberships on Monday's show. Whoever loser buys 5 memberships on thing.
Yeah.
All subs. All right. So we'll donate some subs. And so TJ's got us. So yeah, it's got to be on the sub. So TJ, good idea. We'll do that. And so Dan, listen. No. Thought I knew you.
Is Edie playing tonight?
Edie's playing.
Or Saturday? I'm sorry.
Jaren Jackson Jr. should be back. Orlando should be full strength. Both teams should be full strength, but we don't know. It's the NBA. And so Jaren Jackson Jr. does come back for the Grizzlies. Everybody else should be fine, but they're both playing a back-to-back with travel. And so that will be, but it's the Grizzlies home opener, which is the reason I feel good about having most of them playing, if not all. So,
Imagine young team. They don't have anybody good enough to get that special treatment yet. They're still trying to get
Orlando is good, just so we're on the same page.
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying they're young. They don't have anybody who can take load management yet.
That's not good. I thought that was going to be a good comment, but he's telling me, so I lose. So I'm not a big fan of you. All right, but let's get some going. I don't think I have any music just yet. We'll want to do some fighter music, but we're gonna do choose your fighter. And the first fighter we have so far is going to be Robbie's pick, and that is Preston, aka Boom Boom, and he's going with Utah State and Wyoming. I didn't realize they played. I know. They're far out west. They're out there. I don't pay attention to those two teams. But he's going over 57.5 at -110. Your thoughts, Robbie?
I love it. He sent me his explanation today. I think it's Utah State has hit this in their last 5 straight, and Wyoming has only missed it twice this year. So Utah State's giving up 50, I think, and still winning ball games. I'm like UDG. I don't usually watch these teams, but I like the analysis, and that's my boy Preston, so I'm going to tell him.
Wow. I just saw that Mark, you're going to go get the guitar possibly and play us a showdown music. That might be our new thing.
Showdown.
That might be our new thing. But all right. So that is the first play from our champion. He's a standing champion coming into the show, the first inaugural show. So we'll go ahead and grant him 1. Is that fair that we grant him 1? So he needs to win 2 more challenges, 2 more showdowns to be able to win the 3-month subscription. So, and that is Just a Stat Sports. But I know he's done 2, but we're going to give him 1 because we want to get him into this show. We can't win 1.
I was about to say, it's like his 3rd one after the last 3 weeks where we had draws and everything else going on.
We didn't have the same amount of plays, but Mark, who is your fighter going up against Preston?
Look, it was not an easy decision because there were so many of them. I'm going with Elliott Money. Elliott, you and I are riding this one. We are taking the Florida Panthers on the puck line, -1.5 at +185. They're playing the New York Islanders. The Islanders are on a second night of a back-to-back. They got shelled last night. Florida, while they haven't been really the championship team that they were last year to start the season, I really like them in this spot. I think the Islanders have not found a way to score goals at all this year. I'm riding with you, Elliott. Let's go.
Right. Elliott's got a +185. That will be the highest, I believe, in weekend wagers history for sure. So he's going Florida Panthers -1.5 +185. And his explanation is very simple, as you just alluded to, Mark. Islanders are playing on back-to-back. They've stayed in New York. They have the rest day after playing the Rangers last night. So less travel, which is important. And so that's a big play. So big fan of that one. I like it, Elliott. That's a good play. So all right. So Japan loves his UFC pick is better. He's very upset with you right now, Mark. You didn't choose him.
Hey, for the record, Japan had a +5,000 with Green Bay's backup fullback scoring a touchdown one weekend. So we can't discredit Japan.
But that didn't hit.
I'm just saying we did have a +5,000 play as the weekend wagers.
Japan's also given us a +47,500 today.
I was just going to say that. Japan is a huge one that if that hits, we are giving away so much more.
All right.
I'm still riding with you, Japan. We're still on the same team.
Yep. So we're going with Preston, which is Robbie's pick right now. Utah State, Wyoming over 57.5 at -110. And then we have the other one, which we just showed you, but it's from Elliott Money, Florida Panthers -1.5 +185. And so this will be fun. And so listen, each and every time you come in here, we'll be making sure that we try to have some fun. We'll loosen up a little bit. We want to give you the plays up top and then get into more of the models, the graphics, but also the chat as much as we can. And that way we can try to open ourselves up to questions. So if you get in here, if you have questions, we'll look through stuff together. That's really where we have the most fun. Is looking through plays. So if you have a play that you love or you want to put it in here, great. If you're already playing it, go ahead and just slide it in here and we'll put that as choose your fighter. But if you have a question, just ask, what do we think of a certain player? And so at that point, I think it's big. Japan did have this the other day, 5-unit play on Justin Jefferson under a half of a rushing yard. And it hit because he didn't have any rushing yards last night. That was big.
Yeah.
5
didn't have any touchdowns either.
Where did Japan? I would love to know where you found that.
I think BetMGM has a lot of those.
Yeah.
So
So
you can usually take Tyreek Hill for over half a rushing yard at plus money.
I couldn't find it either. I looked. I couldn't find it. I was searching. Seth saying it wasn't offered on his book either. I don't know where it was. So we'll hang out here for
no, in Japan, he's got a bookie somewhere down there in Biloxi that he
said
played
on
that
DraftKings.
Yeah, sure it was on DraftKings. Don't believe you. All right, so real quick question. I think Ace Plus Money was asking about a Saturday game. Do we know what game that would be? I'm guessing the Boom Boom's play is Saturday, obviously, I would assume. Utah State and Wyoming.
Florida plays tomorrow, right, Mark? That game's tomorrow, right? They don't play tonight, do they?
No, not tonight.
I don't remember seeing any Florida props.
Both games are on Saturday, I would assume.
Both games are on Saturday.
You found it Tuesday, the Golden Nugget. Yes. All right, so both of our Choose Your Fighter plays are on Saturday, and so just want to make sure we clear that way everybody's aware. But all right, listen, that was the show. That was fun. We're going to try to get out of here if we can at 30 minutes. If we're having fun, we're going to go to 45. If we, for some reason, are having so much fun, we'll go to the hour. I don't think we need to go to the hour today. It's not been a jam-packed show completely, but this thing's going to grow. And I hope that everybody will continue to keep joining us as we go on this ride. We just want to give a little bit back of one. Usually this is just our conversations through text or phone calls or just doing the Twitter spaces that we have. We want to kind of share that, but also give a little bit of the insight to a lot of the models. And so if you have a question, Mark has a lot of models. They don't usually look good, but they do give out, good info. But Robbie, let's go and start with you.
Just asking for a friend.
Let's go, Robbie. Let's start with you. Anything else? Closing comments that you got?
Yeah, man. Just thank you all for all your support, all the chat. I mean, you guys make this show what it is, and we like to interact with you guys. So much love from me. I appreciate you guys riding with us, and we'll see you again next Friday.
For sure. Mark, what you got?
Well, I just think this is the first show of what is sure to be many more, and appreciate everybody's support and following us over here. Let's have a great weekend. There's no better way to start the weekend than with a wonderful 12-pack.
Yeah, a wonderful 12-pack. I want to say we iced it down, but then I was like, we can't talk about icing them down because then we don't want to be icing our plays. That's like the wrong motto we want to give. But I want to say I appreciate Coach AB and Producer Man for just kind of allowing us to take on this venture a little bit. It's been fun. We've been doing this for a while. We've definitely surpassed Raphael's expectations 100%. But we're going to be here every Friday at 3:00 Eastern. We'll be giving you our 12-pack of plays. If there's something you want to see, whether it's on the live show, go ahead and put it in the comments. But if it's not on the live show, and if you want to, after the show's over, if you want to slide in a comment, just kind of let us know something that you'd like to see, how we interact, different ways that we can include the crew. Because that's what it's all about, is including you guys to make sure that we're a part of each and every person here and enjoying the show together. But that's all we got. It's been a great show. This is your Weekend Wagers. We'll see you all at the pay window.